debooster.
Yeah.
Hold on now. That's
Now,
oh, separate system.
and there's a picture in your book. Let me see. It is somewhere. But there's a actual picture of a debooster valve on a landing gear strut.
Okay, that's a pump set.
And what good is a debooster?
So this one is good for all the previous old ones
Yeah, the
From
picture's
the 30s, yeah.
from the 30s.
System, yeah.
And then there's another one from the 1920s.
Yeah, I can't find it. But,
Whatever they have
okay.
back then. Or is that in more individual
All right.
manuals?
Yeah. Suppose you got an airplane and you got 4 wheels on the main gear.
Okay.
And look at all the pistons you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you think that's going to require a lot of fluid
Yes.
to move all those pistons? And you multiply that times how many wheels you have. So it's going to require a very large volume of fluid.
Uh-huh.
And what if you have a hydraulic pump and the hydraulic pump puts out 1,500 pounds of pressure, and you have your power brake valve or power boosted valve up here
Okay.
for the pilot to work. But 1,500 pounds is way more than you need to operate these brakes. Suppose 500 pounds will lock them up, skidding the tires. Okay, and so you have a whole bunch of pressure, but you don't have a whole bunch of volume there. And what if you want, but you need a large volume for all those,
The surface area. of the
yeah,
piston.
all the
okay.
pistons. You got a whole pile of pistons, you got a whole bunch of wheels. And you want to reduce your pressure, but increase the total volume of fluid. And so what they have is a cylindrical device, and I think I got one sitting down at the school hangar. The other one is here, but you can't even see inside it, but it's a little cylinder arrangement thing. And what they have is, they have a small cylinder here, where you have 1,500 pounds of pressure coming in off your hydraulic pump, and it's capable of moving this great big piston. This big piston comes down here, and so you got 1,500 pounds of pressure, and you only have 1 square inch.
That's a hydraulic pump.
Okay, and then so it's capable of pushing down. Now that 1,500 pounds per square inch is distributed over a whole 5 square inches of surface area. So if you have 1,500, but it's distributed over 5, suppose you got one way you can think of this. What if we got a 300-pound guy, and I want to lift him up? Okay, well, we stick him on a table. I could easily lift 100, you could easily lift 100, and someone else could easily lift 100. And 3 guys lifting 100 pounds could lift one 300-pound guy up, sitting on top. So it's sort of the same thing.
Yeah, equalize.
It's, you know, one heavy guy down there and 3 guys, each pushing a lot less. So you're taking your square area and spreading it out over a wider area. Okay, so this has 5 square inches. And so when you push 1,500 pounds here, since you distribute over a wide area, that only equals 300 pounds per each square inch.
15 divided by 5.
Yeah, so you got 3. So that 1,500 PSI turned into 300 PSI, which operates your brakes. And take a look, you have a whole bunch of brake pistons to move, and you step on that pedal, it pushes it down, and it moves a very large volume of fluid to work the brakes.
Oh, okay, now I understand.
Does it move that?
Yeah, this whole blue portion moves down. See, this piston here,
So when you have the back pressure there.
yeah, when the pressure here, this whole blue portion,
It's
well,
coming
actually, this part of the piston here
It's
pushes
coming
down and
Okay.
compresses the fluid in here.
What about that checkoff thing?
Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah. Getting ahead of things.
Okay, so everybody, did that make sense so
Yes.
far? Okay, so we can move on. Now, suppose your brakes wear.
Gotta take out.
the discs get thinner and all the brake pads get thin. Now, each one of these little pistons has to move out farther. It takes fluid to fill up all these cylinders. And suppose as things wear, and you multiply that times 4 wheels, or however many you have, you would like to, you know, sometimes, you know, as the brakes wear, and all this fluid goes down, and the pistons all move out, you may run out of fluid here. And this thing's gonna bottom out and won't go anymore. So wouldn't it be nice to have some type of refill device?
Probably that check valve.
Okay, so when this piston goes down low enough, this rod here will unseat the ball check valve. And this 1500 PSI will go right around the ball and refill this and push it back up to a new starting point. So it will refill. It will compensate for wear in your brakes and all the pistons moving out. And if you had a leak there, you step on it, and once it goes down, it's automatically gonna refill and compensate for the leak.
That's pretty clever.
It is smart. It'll refill itself safely in the leak.
I like
If you
that.
had a major leak, yeah, it's not gonna handle
No.
major if the whole line blows, but if it's just seeping fluid out of one of the things, it's gonna
Sure.
refill safely, slow leak,
Still gonna have brakes.
still gonna have brakes.
I
Keeps
like
on
that.
going. Yeah. So that is a D booster. And all these things that I'm talking about today are things you could easily have on an oral practical. You know, examiner may say, hey, just describe a D booster, and describe a power brake valve, describe a power boosted valve. And out in the shop today, we're gonna dig out all the other multiple disc brakes. We got a whole bunch of them in the locker, and everybody's gonna start tearing them apart, figure out how they work, and put them back together.
Okay.
And here's one thing to know. What happens is sometimes when you're dealing with these, they can be a nuisance, because if you take off the wheel, each one of these tangs fits into a slot in the wheel. And what if you pull it off to change a tire? And all of these things, you're lifting up a tire, you stick it on there, you're trying to rotate it around, and you're trying to get every stinking one of these, and you're pinching your fingers, slamming it on, and you got to get the next one lined up. What could a mechanic do to save himself a whole ton of trouble?
Well, they just step on the brakes and maintain them.
Yeah, step on the brakes and set the parking brake. The fluid will trap everything and pinch them down tight, and everything will be held in perfect position. And then you just take the tire, line them up, and slide it right on the axle.
Because sometimes those brakes, not just having 2 plates, they have like 6 plates or 10
Yeah,
plates.
right. And when you're there, like on that Airbus or something, you notice how they had them all lined up, and the guy just slid it on nice and easy. What if they're all crooked? You
It
know,
would be impossible.
you're going to be there messing with it, pinching your fingers, rotating them around, shoving out a little more the next step. But it's easier. If you can set the parking brake, line them all up, take it off, change your tire. Goes on so much quicker. All right, now these have design features, and let's go on to that. So okay, so the D booster makes sense, hopefully.